I'm Karen Hunter.
And I'm Chris Panabianco.
And we are here with Janel Lamb.
Good evening. Thanks for having me.
It is our pleasure. Been looking forward to this.
I am so glad you're at this event, Janel, because you represent everything that is about to me. And one of the things I want to talk to you about is your new book, because obviously your writing always fascinates me, but I really want to talk about the book you just did.
Okay, great. Well, what do you want to know? I'm an open book, quote unquote. So ask away.
Well, I know you probably haven't seen it, so if you want to just start with what it is, what inspired you, and what it's about, let's start from there.
Okay, absolutely. So it's called Bravery and Blinders, and I wrote it coming from a place of after my second book, because it was kind of a sequel to my first book. I read through my first book and I thought, gosh, I've learned so much. Gone through so much more. It had only been about 2 years since my first book, but so many more experiences, so much more that I'd grown into as a wife, a mother, a mom, a woman, all of those things. And so I just felt like I was ready for round 2, and I just needed to expound on some things and add on. So kind of just for myself a little bit, had some really great experiences that I wanted to share. So
what has the reaction been to the book?
I write very conversationally. I don't quote facts and spew facts or anything like that. It's more just like from the heart. Sometimes I joke that it's just a big, fat, glorified blog, but I just really wanted people to get to know me as a person. And I just feel like everybody has a story to share. So in sharing my story, I'm hoping that I can, give some hope, or just like we're all in it together. That feeling of like we all are going through similar challenges, but a lot of the same feelings. There's only so many emotions, and we're all just going through a different experience with those emotions. So
it's interesting because I stumbled upon Janel through your husband, the American sheriff, right?
Yep.
And it was like when I first learned of him, and everyone's, oh, Mark Lamb. And then I saw that you had a book, and I'm like, but wait a minute, who's this lady? Like, I know there's roles you play behind the scene. Yep. And I actually did an article on Janel, because she has so much to offer. Not that Mark doesn't, but usually if there is a strong man, there is a supportive woman at his side, right, who also has her own story to tell. And I've noticed since your first book, you've done more public speaking. Mm-hmm. You just have so much to offer. So I would like to delve into, if we were able to, the ways that because I know Mark will say, you're all the magic. You're the one that handles everything.
He said that to us on the first call.
Yeah,
yes, he did.
He likes to say that.
I would like to talk about those things, like because you are a major support to him, and you do your own things as well. So in what ways, like, do you kind of run the behind the scenes show and help Mark?
It's interesting. Part of the reason that I wrote my first book was because I just felt like it was kind of in a vacuum space. Like nobody ever hears from that person. Nobody ever hears from the support person, whether it's a spouse of law enforcement or in politics. And so I felt like there was really an empty space there that I could fill in and give some people some behind the scenes and, what we really kind of go through on a daily basis as far as like obsessed people or haters or what our kids go through or what we're going through, individually, and the challenges that we come up against. And so my role has in supporting him. I think people would be surprised like how much we discuss things. And I know every couple is different, but for him, he likes to be able to bounce ideas off people. He's got to have a sounding board. And, I give him a hard time because he'll ask my opinion, and I will always give him my opinion, and then he usually does whatever the hell he wants to do, or the opposite of what I suggested, or, and I say, why do you even ask me? And he's like, I just need you to tell me what you think. I need to digest that information, and then I'll make a judgment from there, how I feel about it. I just need to try other things on. I need to just try on other ideas and then see how it feels. And he does have a very good sense of himself and a sense of what he needs to do and judgment. He's very good at that stuff. It's kind of frustrating, actually. He's right most of the time. And that's where I come in, he needs, his love language is quality time and acts of service. So now that I know that, I've learned that over the years, it makes my role easier because I know that he needs me to do stupid things like pick up the dry cleaning or make sure his emails are caught up or make sure the orders have gone out or all that kind of stuff. So I just kind of pick up his slack, basically.
It's very apparent from social media, and again, people can put on a face, but you two genuinely have a friendship.
Yes.
And that's from an outside observer. How do you maintain that with the public eye, with political pressure, with his job, which is not
I don't feel like you can do
job.
all that other stuff if you don't have that solid base of friendship. Like, we would have, again, his thing's quality time. So, like, we have fun when we go check the mail together, or when we go, grab Taco Bell. Like, it doesn't matter what we're doing, because we have such a strong friendship on top of our, everything else we do. It makes everything fun. And so that's where we connect the most, is just doing those mundane things. And we used to be the couple that told each other everything all day long. Like, we would come together at the end of the night. I'd be home with the kids all day. He'd be out, doing whatever. We would go through our whole entire day and enjoy hearing each other's day. Then once he became a cop and I became a flight attendant, that kind of went away a little bit, because then it was just more frustrating than anything. It's like, you've had your day, I've had my day. Let's not share. Let's not rehash it. And so then we just kind of were each other's safe space without having to talk about every little detail. And now I feel like we've kind of found a little happy medium. And we're the first person that we're excited to tell things to. Like, that he's, he'll call me in the middle of the day just to tell me something. And for him to call, it's a big deal, because he's very, very busy. Right. So sometimes I have to get it out of him, at 10:30 p.m. or 11 p.m. or whenever he's done doing his stuff. But I think sharing the little things, and keeping that, because I think it's easy to just kind of forget, like, oh, the dog was crazy today, or, just those little tiny things that make up your actual life. Those are just important to share. And I think people get away from that a little bit, because they think that the person doesn't care, or they don't think it was important. But that's just kind of how we connect.
I love that. Now, how do you see, like, moving forward, you've increased your public speaking. Do you see yourself going into any type of political realm? Or
no, we've talked about it. Mm-hmm. We've seen opportunities here and there. And I was actually considering it for a while, about a year and a half ago. And I, talked to some very trusted people in the political realm that really knew us and knew me and knew the situation, and just kind of got a feel for what it would entail. Like, if I were to do this, like, what would it be? And, we really came back together and said, I think we're better together. I think we're a force multiplier when we're together. So say I were to run, like, for Congress or something. Me going to D.C. all the time and him staying here in Pinal County to be the sheriff, it just wasn't it. It just wasn't it. Whatever we do, we're going to do it together, and we feel like we're stronger together. So I'm like, I don't think that's on the table for me. I think I'm more valuable helping him do bigger things. I
love that.
So,
who's the better author?
Well, he'll always say it was me. I really probably am. I mean, that's just my strong point, right. Is just the creative writing and the phrasing of things. We always joke that I'm the blurb writer. Like, if you need something, like, I kind of hate that Chat GPT, because it's kind of like that's me.
I'm marketer's worst nightmare.
Yes, I am Chat GPT. Like, if you need, say, hey, write me a little, like, for instance, a flight attendant friend of mine and I were flying together. And she was telling me how nervous she was because she needed to write a toast for her son's wedding. And I was like, well, tell me, like, what are the 3 main things you want to say about your son at this toast? So she wrote down the 3 things. I was like, give me about 15 minutes. And I just, like, busted out a, 7-minute toast with all the points. And she's just crying. She's like, this is so beautiful. Like, that's my strong point. Like, give me a topic. I'll write you a 5-paragraph essay on it all day long. For him, he's good at the storytelling part, but it's the beginning and the end that are harder for him, like, and phrasing it and staying on track and all that kind of stuff. So I'm more of his proofreader and his idea person, and then he's got the meat.
Well, I love how he always is the first to say, I could not be who I am without Janel. I just think it's really good. Yeah. What are you most excited about for this fire event? Like, I had to have you at it because I just adore everything about it.
I am just thrilled to be here. I'm so excited. I love retreats in general. I just think they're so valuable, and I think really delving in and getting away from your daily life, you know, you could do something where like, oh, for 6 hours a day, we're going to leave from your house and go to this thing and then go home at night. It's different when you get, even though I'm still in Arizona, you know, I haven't left the state, and a lot of the women have come from out of state, which I think is so awesome. There's just something different about eating, breathing, and sleeping one subject. I just think you just get so much more out of it. I am definitely not where I want to be with my shooting skills. And so I'm really excited to just kind of get back on that horse, get out there, get on the range, just get some time on the range to get comfortable again, get centered again. And I really do feel that shooting a gun is the best way to blow off steam. So I'm looking forward to doing some of that.
Absolutely right. Like it's a stress reliever. You
So
know,
good.
when you shoot recreationally,
So
you're
good.
even trained. So you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And with this, like that was one of my goals, because so many people will go to an event and they'll shoot, or they'll have a range day, but then it might be a year before, you know, they even train again or pick up a gun. Whereas like, you know, this is my job, so I'm doing it all the time, and I forget. Like, you've been to the range, but I know it's different for everybody. But I wanted everyone to come to this and then be able to take home everything they needed to continue training. So everything that you've gotten today, you know, you're ready for you're range ready anytime you want to go.
Yeah.
Did you have any more?
Oh, I have questions for
Go,
days. I don't know if
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Better taste in music. You or Mark?
Oh, for sure, me.
What's playing right now?
So on the way up here, I had a nice little 2-hour road trip, which was fantastic. I'm very eclectic. I went between like Chris Stapleton and 80s.
Okay. What was the best 80s band?
Ooh, 80s band?
Or solo act?
Let me give you this.
Okay.
Best years, 1984, 1985. Those are just quintessential 80s. You cannot go wrong. Any like music playlist that's going to spit you out songs from those 2 years, you will love every single song.
What does Mark listen to?
You know, he's annoying because he is one of those people, and one of my sons has this trait too. He will work out, like be hard lifting weights or running to, I'm not joking to you, Justin Bieber.
we just killed Mark Lamb's
I know.
reputation right here.
Or Enya.
Okay.
Like working out?
Yes. Working out. And
sometimes it's the opposite.
he will listen to the same song over and over and over and over. I'm a repeater. Like, I like certain songs, but he'll have the same song on and it'll play 16 times. And I'll be like, are you going to ever turn this? He's like, oh, I didn't even notice it. He is not really a music guy.
Yeah.
It's more background noise.
It's background noise.
Who's a better cook?
For sure me. I mean, when I would put him in charge of dinner, like when the kids were young at home, you can just take one guess what we would have. Little Caesars every time. It's like, no, I meant you to cook something. I could have picked up Little Caesars, and he does make a pretty good stir fry.
All right.
If he can take some canned chicken and some mixed vegetables and some soy sauce and make rice, he will make that. But I'm the Martha Stewart. I cook, I bake, I do all the things. Yeah. I love
you
it.
keep them going.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So now his thing is he doesn't want me to cook dinner. Don't cook me dinner. He doesn't want to cook dinner. He wants to eat eggs and cheese, or I'll make chaffles. You know what chaffles are?
No.
It's the little mini waffle maker, the little tiny waffle maker, and you just mix egg and some shredded cheese, and you just make a chaffle. It's a cheese waffle, basically. Okay. And then you can put taco meat or pizza.
It's actually a really good idea.
It's delicious.
Yeah.
He likes that
I'm like
too.
making mental notes.
Yeah, those and chicken balls in the air fryer. That's what we
So
eat.
how has life changed as your kids have gotten older, and now it's probably more just you and Mark most of the time, right? So
yeah, we're empty nesters. It's crazy. We leave the house and we come back and everything's where we left it. Man. It's pretty great.
Yeah.
It's
I'm never gonna know
pretty nice.
What's next? So obviously not politics, but will there be another book?
So I will be doing more speaking.
Okay.
I don't see another book right now, but I also didn't see a second book. So you never know. I definitely never say never to anything, but I'll definitely be ramping up the public speaking.
Excellent.
Yeah, I think people are going to see a lot
It's
more
been
of
fun
me
to
all
watch.
over the place.
I think your perspective and the relationship you have, your faith, all of that, the experience you and Mark have, your family, it's from where I met you once before this, but social media brings that sense, but it's very authentic.
And inspiring.
And inspiring.
Thank you.
You know,
That's what we do. I don't even understand people who here's an example. We met somebody who was pretty famous the other day, and so delightful, such a lovely person. And we walked away saying, I wish that regular people in everyday life could see this side of this person. So I don't understand that. Like, how do you have two sides of you? Like, I see what this person puts out to the public, and it's nothing like
their brand or their image.
Yes, and they're in person. They're such a warm, open, pleasant person.
Or it's a false brand.
I just don't understand. I don't know if people get nervous in public or they don't, or they're trying to. I don't understand what it is. And so for us, like, we don't know any other way to be. We don't know any other thing to do than be ourselves. So, and that's just kind of our brand, is to be authentic. Take it for good or bad. Like, some people may not love it, and some people don't love it, and that's okay, because it's us. I can't change it, so.
Well, we are so glad you're here.
Thank you.
This.
I'm so glad I'm here. This is going to be so fantastic.
Oh, we appreciate you taking the time, and it'll be fun shooting some guns.
Absolutely.
Very
Thank
much
you,
looking
Janel.
forward to it. Thanks, guys.
Janel.